Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to the Operation Hill 100 Hearts channel where we do what? Focus on healing, humor, and hot mother freaking topics. Listen, Mama Love has entered the chat. Mama Love has entered the motherfucking chat and it's up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not, please go and watch my other Dear DJ videos in regards to the young lady whose mom was asking for a piece of her liver, and this is the trilogy that keeps on giving. So let's get to part 3. I'll drop in the description box the links for the other Dear DJs so you can watch them in sequence so you can know what's going on. In any event, can you please hit the thumbs up on the video? Please do me the favor and hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up on the video. Hit the thumbs up right now on the video. That's your free way of supporting my channel. Let's get into it. Dear DJ, please help heal my girls. I'm so embarrassed about this public back and forth, but you know what? I'm happy it's out. They both have been holding back what they really feel towards each other and me, and all is said and done, and all it's done is build resentment and animosity. The reality of the situation is, yes, I was on drugs. Yes, I was negligent with my first 2 children. As my eldest daughter said, I abandoned her, and I also abandoned her brother, who we lost to the streets. That broke me. I went so far in my addiction that I had no choice but to make a change and go up. I got better. Life got better. I've been trying to right my wrongs with my eldest daughter ever since. She's a hard shell to crack. I get it. I also realize that I must continue fighting to heal the relationship she and I are destined to have. What's wrong with this one? I also got my other children. I also get my other children do not like seeing me being subjected to her rants and verbal abuse, but they also don't have a relationship with her because she wasn't raised with them, and more importantly, she's not their child. So they do not understand my plight and fight as a mother. This back and forth is more stressful than my liver disease. The closest I'm going to get to my daughter and I reconciling is us being at peace. At this point, that is all I care about or want. Where I am in the process of this disease, I do believe I won't survive it. But before I go, I want my children to have peace with one another. I know your mom, and I've known you since you were a baby. Oh, and I trust that you can get the job done. And of course, I'm on board for the process. Thank you in advance, and as love always. I'm only requesting one thing: peace for my offspring. Okay. Woo, child. Let me take my signature sip of water. First of all, I want to thank all 3 of these ladies. I want to thank all 3 of these ladies. Because what I can appreciate is them being very honest, very open, and very willing to share their personal situation. There's many people in the world growing through things like this, but not everybody is, brave enough to come forward and say, listen, this is my situation and I need some help. So let me first start off by saying thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, and putting a situation out there that many people struggle with but don't have the courage to share openly. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for being honest, because it seems like no matter what people feel about some of the things that you have shared and some of the feelings and emotions that you have displayed in these letters, you still stood 10 toes down in your honesty and in what you feel towards one another and about the situation that's lingering. Let me start off by saying this. I am by no means a medical professional. So if any of these situations require medical attention, even if it's mental health, even if it's a mental health professional, then I suggest by all means you go and you get what you need, because I am not a medical professional. Okay? So let me start off by saying that. Well, my lips feel dry. Let me start off by saying that because I don't want folks to think that I'm trying to say to these people, let me be your therapist. That's not it. That is not it at all by any stretch of the imagination. What I am trying to do is help you guys get on terms where you'll be able to coexist and be able to move together cohesively, so you are not struggling to be a family unit. Okay, so let me just start that off there. Second of all, please go like the video, ladies and gentlemen. Please hit the thumbs up and like the video. That is your free way of supporting my channel. Back to mom. Hey, mom. Hey, mom. Let me start off by saying, I was happy to hear that you know me personally, because I do enjoy getting letters from folks that know me personally, because I do appreciate the fact that my people trust me. So let me just say thank you. Let me just say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for writing in, because if you've known me since I'm a baby, that means you could be somewhere around my mom's age, and most of the elders don't want their business put on Front Street. So I can appreciate you, Mom, for not only trusting me, but stepping into the chat and giving your version of the story, since I did not have that, and that was the missing piece, right? So you did piece together quite a few things. You did piece together quite a few things that I had questions about, right? Which was, I wanted to know if these ladies were being honest in what they were sharing, or if they were exaggerating and being dramatic because of what they were feeling. And what it sounds like you're saying is that both of them were being honest, and that both of them have points, but you just want them to be able to put their anger and aggression aside and be able to come together as a family, right? What I will tell you guys, and I would say this to anybody is in a healing heart session, and especially if I were working with you and your two daughters, I would say we're going to center this healing heart session around forgiving. We're going to center these healing heart sessions around forgiveness. We have to. Because at the end of the day, the reason why folks are angry and aggressive and disrespectful and mean and all these other things in the way they express their emotions is because so and so hasn't forgiven such and such, right? It sounds like your daughter, your eldest daughter hasn't forgiven you. It sounds like your sister hasn't forgiven, your other daughter hasn't forgiven her sister. So it's just a number of feelings and emotions wrapped up in anger and aggression, and it's displaying all over the place. Mom, I think you owe it to your eldest daughter, which it sounds like you've been doing, to continue to allow her to grieve. But I think the suggestion should be that while she's grieving the woman that you were, because as you said, I'm no longer there, and God bless you, my dear, and congratulations, right? While you're no longer that woman, she has to grow to a point where she can accept that that other woman is no more. My suggestion would be that you allow her to go through her own personal counseling. Because while I would love for you three to come and sit in front of me, or maybe just you and her, I do think that there's some inner work that your eldest daughter needs to do before she can even sit down with you or your other daughter, right? And I think the issue is the inner work is centered around abandonment, right? I think for her, she has taken it very personal that you would abandon her, but then turn around and raise your other children as the loving and doting parent that she feels she wanted and she needed. So she really needs to reconcile her thoughts and her feelings surrounding abandonment. Now, I have quite a few people that I'm close and connected with that I know deal with that. And I honestly understand the feelings towards it. But my suggestion has always been to my people, let's look at the glass as half full as opposed to half empty. So my thoughts would be for you to share with your eldest daughter that, listen, I want to provide the space for you to grieve who I used to be and also grow to get to know the woman I am today. But I cannot do that in your presence, because the way that you handle your emotions and the way that you go about sharing what you feel or how you're grieving is not only disrespectful, but it's detrimental to me as well. And while I think you're a tough cookie and an excellent mom and you've been through a lot, I don't think that it's fair in this chapter of your life for you to have to take that abuse from that young lady. Again, let me run it back. I am not by any stretch of the imagination saying that she should not be angry or upset. I'm also not even saying that she should not display that. But once you continue to be the punching bag for somebody, you cultivate the space for them to continue swinging. And that's not what you want, because at the end of the day, in your letter, what you said was, I want peace. How are you going to have that if somebody is always angry and aggressive towards you? So what she needs is her own set of counseling. My suggestion, Mama Love, would be you should team up with adopted Mama Love. From the sounds of your eldest daughter's first letter, it seems like the adopted family, the mom in particular, may be on board with you guys building your own relationships and getting better and getting in a better space with one another. So I think that you should team up with the adoptive mom. And I say that because the adoptive mom, from what it sounds like in your eldest daughter letter, she's able to get through to your daughter in a way that you can't at the moment. So I think going to her and sitting with her and really sharing, if you haven't done so already, listen, I'm not oblivious to the woman I was to my daughter. I'm not proud of that woman, but I'm also not oblivious to it. And because I'm not oblivious to it, I understand that she needs to grieve and mourn that woman and all of the abuse and abandonment that she endured when I was that woman. But I need for her to understand that not only am I not that woman anymore, but I want to be a different mom to her in this chapter of my life. But she has to be open to that. And if she's not, because she's continuing to spew out anger and aggression and disrespect, you guys are never going to be able to reach that peaceful place that you want. So I think teaming up with the adoptive mom and really getting her to buy into, listen, you need to go through your own form of therapy so you can move on to the next phase of your life, which can be peaceful with your family, right? So let's try that. Let's try that first, right? After we try that, let's talk about baby girl number 2. Now, I'm going to say this as a daughter, and I probably would be baby girl number 2, which is a daughter that has a really good relationship with their mom. You are extremely protective over your mom. And the reason why daughters are extremely protective over their moms is because their moms have shown that extreme protection for them. You know, so whereas your eldest daughter got one version of you, it seems as though this daughter here got a separate version of you. And that version is someone she wants to protect. Right? So I think sitting down and being very transparent with her about what this journey is going to look like for you and her eldest daughter, and how that journey doesn't really involve or include her. Now, I know that's going to be hard to say, because it's like, Ma, what you mean this don't include me? So you want me to stand to the side and watch this bitch be a bitch to you and don't say nothing? Well, no, not necessarily, which is why we're talking about getting the oldest daughter some of her own therapy. But you have to also understand, little mama, that the same way I'm your mother, I'm her mother. And the way that she chooses to deal with our relationship is her choice. The same way you have your choice about the way you deal with me, she has to have her choice, her journey. She has to walk her path about the way she deals with me. And as her mother, I'm opening the floodgates for her to do so we can get to a better place. Now, what I don't want to do is I don't want to encourage anybody in the family to nurture disrespectful and aggressive behaviors by the eldest daughter. I don't want you guys to nurture that, because it will continue. It will continue. If what's allowed, and I say this in lives and dear DJs and everything else, what's allowed will continue. So that's why I'm saying to you, Mama Love, really, really, really hone in on your eldest daughter going to do what's best for her before you and her really engage on this healing journey together. Because if you continue to say, like you said in your letter, oh, she's a hard shell of crack, and you know I just basically let her get her shit off, she gonna continue having shit to get off. She's not a baby. She's not a baby. At this point, she has to grow up. And growing up entails her saying, listen, I don't want a relationship with you because I don't respect you and I'm still angry with you. Or I do want a relationship with you, but because of my feelings and emotions, I'm going to go heal. But she needs to make a choice. What you can't allow, Mama Love, is for her to continue coming around pounding on you, which is why you're going to team up with adopted Mama Love and say, hey, help me help her. And also, that protects your other children. Because if you cultivate the space for one child to disrespect you, you're almost welcoming that behavior for all of your children. And while some of them might not feel they want to treat you that way, if they do sometimes get in a bag and, you know, you do something that they don't like, they might just because, look, you allow her to do it. Oh, no, 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 no. Disrespect will not be tolerated. So I think that talking to your other daughter and sharing with her that you and your eldest daughter is working through things, but I also think not allowing your other children to be privy to what that healing journey looks like until it's a safe space for everybody. Because I'm not going to lie to you, right? If I see one of my siblings disrespecting my mother verbally or physically, I'm diving dead on. Head first. Boot the ass. Foot the neck. Brick the chest. And whatever other things, we don't condone violence on this channel. But when it comes to my mother, who knows where it could go, right? So I think trying to tell your other kids to stand down, it's pretty much impossible because nobody wants to watch their mother get disrespected. So I think trying to deal with them separately might work initially to get the healing journey going. Once again, once you and your daughter get into a better space, you allow her to do her work first. You step in, y'all do y'all work together, and then you invite your other children in, mainly your other daughter, because she seems to be the biggest advocate at the moment from what you guys shared in the letter of sharing what her issues is with her sister, and then you bring her into the fold and you guys work through the issues that you are having. But right now, it's not a safe space for you, and it's not a safe space for your other children. And once again, I'm never taking away from the initial letter writer, which is your eldest daughter. I'm not taking away from her feelings. I'm not invalidating her feelings. I'm not saying she's wrong. But there is a way as an adult, and she's a grown-ass woman, to process and convey those feelings without it turning into disrespect. And it seems like she's not there yet. She's not at all there yet. I want to also say something too about not being there, and I think this is the conversation that I don't know if you guys can have it yet. I don't know if it's open for discussion, but I do know in the future you're going to need to at some point. Your second daughter, in her letter, she introduced the idea of your eldest daughter possibly also being on drugs. Let me tell you something about alcohol. I don't know about drugs, but your second daughter said that about your eldest daughter. She alluded to the fact that she may be on alcohol and drugs. I don't know about drugs. I've never done any, but let's talk about alcohol because I have drank before. It's very hard to process sad emotions and feelings properly when you're under the influence, right? So I can have a conversation with a person about something that made me feel mad or sad very calmly and very respectfully, sober. I'm not good at it under the influence, right? And sometimes you're under the influence because of those sad and mad emotions that you feel. And you're trying your best to escape them. But if something is presented where you have the opportunity to let them out and you're under the influence, everything that you're feeling comes flooding out, and it never comes out in a good way. Because in those moments, you are not in control of your emotions. So they're very raw and you're very vulnerable. And if you're angry and sad and vulnerable, it gets ugly. So I also think that if your daughter, which is another thing that you can introduce to your eldest in regards to her healing journey, wants to get better, that could be another way that you introduce counseling. I'm also introducing it because you may be utilizing drugs and alcohol to suppress what you're actually feeling and growing through those actual emotions. So how about, instead of taking this and drinking this, we set up some counseling and some therapy so you can just regurgitate how you feel and actually talk through and walk through those emotions. Now, I want to say something about introducing therapy as opposed to drinking and smoking. I think, and you can let me know how willing you are to do this, Mom, I also think that you should introduce your journey with drugs. Because it's no way that you could tell me that nothing was going on in your life that affected you and you just was out there getting high. I don't believe that. I believe that some things took place in your life which led you to want to suppress those feelings with drugs and alcohol. And I think if you sit down and try to have the conversation, excuse me, if you try to have the conversation with your daughter in regards to her drinking and her smoking and the reasons why she may be drinking and smoking or drinking and taking drugs, whatever it is she's doing, if she's doing anything at all, you may want to share. We're relatable in that regard. But you're on the other side of it. You know what the outcome could be. So having that conversation could open up your daughter's eyes to say, you know what, I may not want to go down this path, so maybe I should try to listen to my mom. And in those moments, you can connect with her as well. And that could, at that point, to some degree, ease some of the tension between the two of you. Having that connection. Being able to say, oh shit, my mother know what I'm going through. She can relate. Now I can go to her for advice, insight, input. And then maybe I can start to heal. And the reason why I'm saying that, Mom, is because, once again, I am a daughter. I'm not yet a mom. I am a daughter. And my mother's influence is extremely, 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 extremely present and extremely important. And it definitely, it's my protective field, right? And I don't run to my mom for every little thing, but the things that are important and the things that hurt me and the things that I really, really need help and support with and my shortcomings, that's where I go. And I love one of the things, and my mom can do this so well that she has done this for my friends. My mom does this in her work field. My mom does this everywhere. She's very motherly and she's a mentor. What she can do is show you how relatable she is to you. So even if she doesn't have your situation directly or exactly, she can show you that at some point in her life she went through something similar and what it looks like on the other side. And because of that, people are able to connect with her in ways that they can't connect with other people. Right now, you are looking for that positive connection with your daughter because all she has is aggression and anger towards you. So we need a positive outcome somewhere. So even if you want to open up the floodgates talking about your own experience with drugs and alcohol and, sharing with her, how relatable you and her are if that's her journey right now, and how you could be of some help. Because like you said, you're out on the other side. You're clean and sober. You're a better woman because of your experience. So I think serving as a template for your baby could really, really help rebuild that connection in a positive way. And once your other children see, because it doesn't sound like your other children, your other daughter has much of an issue with your eldest daughter outside of the disrespect, right? So I think once they see you guys building a better relationship and her being respectful towards you and you sharing, like, this is what I want for you guys all to come together and be cohesive, I think the other children can try to get on board. If they can't and there is further counseling that needs to be sought out, then fine. You guys can do family counseling. Perfect. But you want to get that family counseling going with everybody when you're all in a good space. You don't want to get it going where everything is a tip of a nerve on an ice cube and now everybody is flown in one room screaming and hollering about what they feel and emotions is everywhere and you don't get anywhere. So it has to go in layers, Mama Love. Let your eldest start on her own journey. Let you and your eldest go on your own journey, and then you sprinkle in the other kids as need be. Because as you said, the only thing that you're requesting is peace for your offspring. So being able to have that family counseling and allow everyone to come together and start to rebuild a better connection that was had in the past is what you will have. Exactly what you requested, the peace that you desire. And I want that for your family. I want that for your family because I don't know if what you said is true, and I'm praying God forbid, but you did say in your letter that you do not believe that you will survive this disease. And even if you whether you do or don't, you would like for your children to come together. I would like for them to do so as well. So let's get started on the steps. First step is reach out to the adopted mom and let's have that real talk, mother to mother. Afterwards, let's try to help your daughter get into her own therapy while you share some of the things that might be able to assist her in getting there. Afterwards, you and your eldest, y'all get in therapy together. Let's talk about those abandonment issues. Let's talk about the reasons why she was abandoned. Let's get that all out on the table so the rebuilding can begin. Once you guys have got to an amicable space, then you sprinkle in your other children to start rebuilding their sibling relationship. So outside of the relationship all of your kids have with you and you have with them, they'll have their own relationships. So if God forbid you don't survive this disease, they'll be able to stick together whether you're here or not. Praise God, you will be here. But in any event, oh my God, this trilogy rocked me. This trilogy rocked me. This trilogy rocked me. First of all, because it's very close to home. It's extremely close to home. You know, I have dealt with drug addiction in my family. You know, it has ruined some relationships. I've seen the worst of it. I've seen it get better. You know, so this trilogy rocked me. But what I can say about it is, you know, you guys are not the only ones on the battle. I just shared that my family has been on a similar battle. You know what I'm saying? Other people reached out. If you guys pay attention to the comments on the other Dear Deidres that have been written by your two daughters, folks are reaching out saying, listen, I've been here. I know what this is about. You know what I'm saying? So you're not the only one growing through it. And I praise God that, as always, you make it out on the other side. And I'm hopeful that you will, because I'm also hopeful and anticipating that everybody's going to come in for their Operation Heal 100 Heart sessions. Okay? Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hit the thumbs up. Let's make sure you hit the thumbs up. I want everybody hitting the thumbs up and liking this video. That's your free way of supporting my channel. My channel is not yet monetized, so if you would like to send me a donation, please feel free. Cash App, Zelle, MCU. You just reach out to me and let me know how you would like to do so. In any event, I appreciate everybody tuning in, logging in, giving your feedback, texting me, hitting the thumbs up. All of it is greatly appreciated, and please continue to stay tuned. If nothing else, make sure you enjoy your day. Mwah.